Cultures has become one of the most important business topics in years. The culture drives people behavior, innovation, and communication. Multicultural meetings can be tricky to lead. People bring their culture baggage with them wherever they go, and that influence in the workplace. One of the first barriers that company facing is the difference in natural language. So now let's first take a look at the relationship between language and culture. Language is not only words but also pronunciation, tone. Language is created and shaped by the needs of the culture. This means that the language and culture are related to another and the changing landscape of the world. Language reflects common experience and backgrounds, and these history in turn create words specific to the culture. We also can recognize someone's culture in their vocabulary, dialect, or by listening to the speech pattern. Most of the people in the world do not speak English, or even if they use it is their second or third language. Some of the culture they do not prefer to speak the second language like English during their meeting beside the mother language. On the international meeting, if the speaker and receiver do not use the same language and words, there is no meaning to the communication as using the word that other person understand that make the communication ineffective and prevent message from being conveyed. For example, an American go to China, the person does not understand Chinese and most people in China do not understand English. So when the person speaks, the communication is not effective and the other Chinese person does not understand. Language is not a fact to the kind of transaction they made in their negotiation way. Body language or verbal language is also sometimes a cause disagreement. A finger movement or nodding to show consent or not indicate cultural difference between the countries. Toward alignment with the business goal on the international meeting, the leader must measure and manage the culture. The communication style are also vary from culture to culture as the notion of authority and hierarchy with only the potential for misunderstanding and hard feeling in the meeting. Direct or non-direct communications. Direct communication is honest and straightforward. We can say exactly what we mean. When we think something is not right or something is slightly different, people will say it during the meeting. On the other hand, in many countries in the world where a cultural rule communication is carefully and related to saving face, the style of communication in the same negotiation can lead to friction. Some people to show very strong attitude on a meeting and finally the result not as expected. Depend on the culture, the way of celebrate meeting, holding a meeting or communication with another to be well prepared differently. We need to read about the culture difference before taking the meeting. To be made sure we follow strictly the meeting and present sooner the meeting time taken place or at least on time. It will depend on the culture of the country and people from the meeting. Waste time is waste money. Time is money, like people from some country said. Some country they don't manage the time between time frame and impact to the people who join the meeting. In overall, to be well prepared for the international meeting and successfully, we need to study the culture of the country of the people who will participate in the meeting. Getting to know the personality, clear meeting obstacles, and summarize the main areas of agreement and disagreement, and ensure the expectation align and in structured ways. Thank you for listening.